For the second year in a row, Jeff Bezos has claimed the top spot on the Forbes 400 list, giving him the coveted title of the wealthiest person on Earth. Aside from just being the CEO of Amazon, he's also the CEO of Blue Origin, a space flight company that also contributes to his out-of-this-world wealth. Certainly, you've heard his name before and seen that bald head of his, but can you really visualize how much his net worth of $112 billion really is? Let's break down those $112 billion into something that's a little more understandable and somehow even more mind-blowing. On his investments alone, Jeff makes an average of $2,489 per second. In a minute, that adds up to a startling $149,353. If you stacked that into a pile of $1 bills, it would be about 535 feet tall, nearly twice the height of the Statue of Liberty. However, if Jeff didn't feel like flaunting his cash in front of a national monument or his Amazon employees, and felt like hiding it away instead, he'd have to stow away 329 pounds of money every minute. And over the course of 1 hour, he'd have 19,740 pounds of money to stow away. But what about a day? The amount of money he makes in 24 hours, if laid bill to bill, could stretch from Los Angeles to Tokyo and back twice. From a city full of sushi to a city full of, well, sushi, but not quite as good. With the $215 million that fills Jeff's pockets every day, he could easily buy every single employee of Amazon, all 522,000 of them, a 3-day pass to Disneyland, a set of mouse ears, and a churro. I'd say that certainly beats a company pizza party. It may sound like Jeff runs the world with this money, and that's because he could. If Jeff suddenly turned into a Batman villain and was looking for a way to change the world's landscape, he could blanket the entire surface of the planet with $1 bills just from the amount he makes in 493 days. But what if instead Jeff wanted to do something a little less evil with his money? Imagine a world where he's decided he wants to sell all his stock and go live in the woods with nothing but Alexa and a credit card. If he spent $20 every single second, it would take him 177 years, 2 months and 29 days to spend all the cash he currently has. He'd be a ripe old 233-year-old man by the time he ran out of money. And if he didn't have that $20 limit, he could go buy quite a few things with his fortune. For some people, a Ferrari or a house might be an expensive purchase, but for Jeff, it's hard to find things that really put a dent in his wealth. He could buy the Tower of London and Stonehenge on the same day and still have $32 billion left over. If he was feeling a little less history and a little more pop culture, he could pay to remake every single Avengers film, from Iron Man to Endgame, 28 times. According to Forbes' Fictional 15, if we managed to cross over into the Avengers universe, Jeff could buy Stark Industries and still have $103 billion left. Think the Avengers isn't really Jeff Bezos' style? No worries. He could pay to star in, produce, and direct the most expensive movie of all time, make only one single copy, and then sell it back to himself for $10 billion, which would make him the highest-grossing actor, director, and producer of all time. If he was feeling a little less pop culture and a little more sports, he could buy every single team in the NFL and still have enough money to build the most expensive stadium on Earth. If he got a little bored after football season, he could pay for the entire operation of the most expensive Olympic Games of all time, down to paying the teams, building the stadium, and doing the advertising, and he'd still have $50 billion to spare. But even billionaires need to kick back and take a break from the exhausting business of buying other companies. To relax, Jeff could buy the 10 most expensive yachts on Earth, all valued at over $100 million apiece, and it would barely put a dent in his account. If he hired Beyoncé to perform on one of his ships for a private event rate of $2 million, he could have her perform for 51,000 days in a row before he would even come close to running out of money. This all being said, Jeff Bezos has a lot of money. Wrap it around the world and hire Beyoncé for life kind of money. 20% more than the British monastery kind of money. Solve world hunger kind of well, you get the point. What do you think of Jeff Bezos' massive fortune? And if you'd like to take a tour inside the home Jeff Bezos has built with that $112 billion, be sure to check out my other video on that right here. If you had this kind of wealth, what would you do with it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, pip pip to doodly do.